And today we are going to continue to add to our unknown words notes. So if you'll grab those notes that we were doing the other day about word meaning, and they have step 1 and step 2 in there, we're going to go ahead and add step 3 in this video. So grab your notebook, skip a line, and put step number 3. And while you're getting that stuff ready, I'll review. So when you come to an unknown word, the first thing I want you to try to figure out is that word an action, a thing, or a description? The next step is that unknown word positive or negative? Does it have a positive or good feeling, or does it have a negative or sound kind of bad? The third step is to look inside the word. Does that word have a prefix that you know or recognize? Does it have a base word or a word inside of it that you recognize or know the meaning of? And does it have a suffix at the end of the word that you recognize and know the meaning of? And I'm going to jump in with this first paragraph here and show you what that third step looks like. We'll read it together. From an early age, Gandhi learned the value of quiet resistance. He believed that people could fight injustice without the use of weapons. He believed in peaceful non-compliance, refusing to obey laws without resorting to violence in order to encourage change. Gandhi wrote petitions to the government. Because he didn't believe people should be separated by race, gender, or class, Gandhi organized groups of Indians and educated them about the injustices of segregation. And you can see here that the unknown word is resistance. And we'll go through these steps. First, is it an action, thing, or description? Is it positive or negative? And then we'll start to look inside of the word. I'll scroll down. Right here, I'm going to look at the words around it to figure out if it's an action, a thing, or a description. So in this first sentence, it says, Gandhi learned the value of quiet resistance. And I have the word quiet highlighted here because I know quiet is a describing word. It tells about something, usually. And there's my clue. I have a description right before it. Typically, you are going to describe a thing. So I think that resistance is a thing. And then I have the word value highlighted because after I figure out if a word is an action, a thing, or a description, I need to figure out if it's positive or negative. And I'm going to say that this has a positive meaning the way that it's used because of the word value. Value is usually about how much something is worth, and he learned the value, so that sounds like it's something good. Now I'm going to look inside this word, and I've highlighted part of it in green because I see inside that word resist. And I know if you resist something, you don't really want to do it. You're going to try not to do it or refuse to do it. So when I look inside the word, that helped me understand, okay, quiet resistance, meaning, okay, he didn't want to do something, and he did it quietly. So I checked if it was an action, a thing, or a description. Then I figured out if it was positive or negative, and then I had a clue inside of the word. Got another example here, and this one is not connected. These are just separate paragraphs to kind of model. Going to go through those 3 steps again. The Turner kids were not accustomed to snow. The most they ever got in their southern city of Birmingham was an inch or so per year. Even that was quite infrequent. It never snowed more than once or twice each winter. And on the few occasions that it did snow, it was always too warm for the snow to accumulate. The temperature almost never got below freezing. So I have the word infrequent in bold here, and I'm going to apply those 3 steps to try to figure out the meaning of this word. Is it an action, a thing, or a description? Does it sound positive or negative? And then I'm going to look inside the word. And right here, let's see. In this sentence, it says, even that was quite infrequent. And here I have quite. So the sentence says, that was quite blank. And a lot of times I've heard like, oh, well, that was quite or very nice. Or sometimes I've said to my son, well, that was not very nice, or that was mean. And I know that nice and mean and rude, all of those are descriptions. So I think that infrequent is describing something. And so that was my clue to think, okay, that was blank. So the next thing after that was is usually going to be a description. It never snowed more than once or twice each winter. So I have the word never highlighted here to figure out, is this positive or negative? And usually when somebody is talking about never, it's got a bit of a negative meaning. Now step 3 is to look inside the word. And I have 2 parts of it highlighted here. I have in highlighted. And in is highlighted because I recognize that prefix. That prefix of in means not. And then I have frequent highlighted because I've heard frequent before. And I think that frequent kind of means you do something a lot. And now I'm going to put together those 2 clues inside the word, the prefix and the word that I recognize. So if in means not, and frequent means a lot or often, so not often, I put those together and I can figure out that infrequent means not often. And then with some of the context clues of it never happened, I think I've got the right meaning. And we've got one more step that we're going to add to this to figure out unknown words in our next video. For now, we've got 3 steps. Is the unknown word an action, thing, or description? Step 2, is that word positive or negative? And step 3, are there any clues inside of the word?